Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about basic handler resets, just resets in general, and flow off of those resets. Alright, so we're back in our host stack. We have two resets. We've got the out of the disk here. He's being forced this direction. The force side reset is our primary reset. He is 5 yards back off the disk, so he's out of that lane. And we have our break side reset, our secondary reset, and he's parallel, he's level with the thrower. We've talked about this a lot, but we want this force side handler to make a sweep cut around behind the thrower. We want the thrower to, if at all possible, lead him back into space. If this guy is being covered really tightly as he comes over, he can slam on the brakes and come back for a straight back dump. But obviously it's more preferable if he catches the disc over in this space, so that he can then attack the brake side with before his defender is able to put on that mark and shut it off. So we're able to not only reset the disc, get a new stall count, we're also able to attack the brake side where the defense is a little bit weaker. We haven't broken it with one tough throw, but we have broken it with hopefully then two easy throws. So as our primary reset cuts around back, makes that sweep cut, we need to have space for him to throw into that brake side. This handler, if he is spread, he finds himself spread very wide on this AUDL field, that he isn't in the way, then he should continue to hug that sideline and don't allow his defender to creep in here. However, more likely than that is he's going to be close enough that he should take off upline, or at least head this direction to leave that big space for these cutters, or even for himself to make an S cut. All right, so this is what that looks like. Our handler's made a sweep cut. This handler has realized that he was going to be in the lane when he started seeing this cut develop, so he took off upline. If he has his guy beat upline, he can keep going. If he feels like his guy is really snug on him, he can turn page, make an S cut, and cut back into this big wide space. He can also, as he makes his turn, he can take a peek upfield at these cutters and see, is he about to cut off a huge in cut from one of them? If he is, he has time to break off his cut and not finish it. And if he's not, then he can continue his cut into the space. It only takes a split second to steal that glance, and it'll prevent miscommunications. The other possibility is that the defender playing on this four-side handler is going to try to take away this sweep, and therefore he's probably going to leave a little bit of space upfield. This handler can, of course, take off upfield for a nice, easy IO, or even a soft flip up into space, and that's how this player can get power position. So this is really the only read that anybody has to make, is where this defender is. It's going to dictate where this player decides to go, whether it's upfield or make a sweep cut. If he does go upfield, he can, come straight back if you'd like. But if I'm this thrower, I'm going to commit to my other reset and let him get open for me. Before we talk about sideline resets, I just wanted to remind everybody, when there's a straight up mark, this player has called out which side of the field we've sort of decided that we're going to make our force side, the side that we're going to attack, and the handlers need to adjust for that. So if in this situation we can assume that this handler has called out 2, or a 2 number, so these two cutters have been activated, this side of the field is going to be our main cutting space. They're going to clear out for this guy, if you remember. But in terms of our resets, what that means is we're going to, especially this player, is going to push more than usual, so that this player, our thrower, is able to hit stuff into open space. And this player is going to drop back and be a regular four-side reset. So he's going to drop back into space. If they are already set up this way, and we talked about this in the host at cutting video, if they're set up this way, but the thrower likes this matchup over here, he wants these guys to make their cuts and have this guy cut into this space, well then our handlers need to shift. They need to pivot like they're on a string together. So this handler is going to drop back in our new newly created force side, this handler is going to push level and make sure that he gives tons of space for a throwing lane on this side. All right, now that we have the disc on the trap sideline over here, we are going to talk about sideline resets. First off, since we have this as our cutting lane, there won't be a cutter here because there will be somebody constantly cutting into this space, but no one will be just parked here. So we can assume that this guy has cleared out. When the cutters see that this person has turned and is committed to their dump, they should probably stop trying to come at least into this space here. They can keep sort of cutting, set up their cut for the next thing. They definitely can fill into this space, all that sort of stuff. But they want to still leave space for an upline for this handler. This handler is going to get the disc in one of three locations. He's going to get it upline, he's going to get it dump, and he's going to get it flare out in the same space. All right, so here we have our cutter clearing out, so just to show that there's not only 6 people on the field. We've got our two most popular options is an upline. Obviously, that's great because it's going to give us power position. A dump is nice because we're going to have hopefully a really easy throw. For the most part, defenders are going to sort of let you have this. We don't really, this is sort of our last option. Upline's great because we have a good chance to huck without a tough mark on us. We're in a great power position. Dump is less good. The last cut is our flare cut, and it's almost as good as an upline. This handler is going to make an upline cut, realize that he's shut down, but come back into the same space that he vacated so that he can have a nice, easy throw around, and we're going to be able to, again, break the mark very easily because this defender will be out of position. So the trick about this is he can't come all the way up line and then come into this space. He can only go probably right behind this 45-degree mark. If he goes too far, we're going to activate this handler, and there's going to be a little bit of miscommunication with two handlers converging into one space. So he needs to be decisive with his cutting. Either going to go up line, and once he gets to a certain point, he just needs to keep going and clearing out into the stack, or he's going to get enough steps, realize he is not going to get the upline, but does think he can get back, and he's going to bust back into the same space. In order to capitalize on the flare cut, it's going to be important that when this person catches the disc, once a reset catches the disc, they continue to look this direction upfield. The entire defense will be behind their men because the force is this direction. There won't be a chance for this guy to seal it off because that's the whole point of why this person got open in the first place. He's a little bit trailing. So when this person catches the disc, they need to continue to look break, at least for a second, pivot that direction and be ready to throw. There may not be a cut, but if there is, we're able to move the disc and continue to keep the defense off balance. And if there's not, we haven't really lost anything. This player will still be trying to get out of the lane a little bit. We'll be still setting up our cuts. Just an instant of pivoting to the break side could lead to big dividends, and it really doesn't hurt us at all. Now, there's only 7 seconds in the AUDL, so there's not a whole lot of time to set up a second reset if the first one doesn't pan out. However, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be ready for it in case of an emergency. So this player, let's say they make their upline cut and they clear out right away. Our far reset should already start creeping over a little bit so that they're in position to make a cut. And typically when they're about to get the disc, I've found personally, and again, if something works better for you, that's fine. You're professional cutters yourselves. Pushing your defender a little bit, running them a little bit upfield. If they don't try to get good position on you, you can then attack this space and go upline. If they try to body you up, it's very easy to use their weight against them and end up in this space back here. Again, we won't have a whole lot of time to run that because of the 7 seconds. And we don't want this person to push over too soon because we want to make sure that we don't cut off the flare cut. But be attentive, and if you have the possibility, you see that this person is definitely going up line, this person can push over and either attack the upline themselves because this person will continue clearing out, or they can come back and get an easy reset, especially if the mark has shifted. Alright, here are a lot of arrows. I'm not going to go over this in depth because we do go over it in depth in the cutting video. Please go to the cutting video to look at this in depth. But if the disc is stuck on the sideline and it is a flat mark, the first thing that's going to happen, or sort of simultaneously, is this player is going to clear out so that there's a nice upline space. This person is going to sort of clear out so that this person doesn't have to run all the way across the field in order to clear out. And also they'll be able to set up a cut well. The offense is going to be initiated by the person who'd ordinarily be the reset handler going upline. They're going to look for either a little dishy here, a lefty backhand or something, or a break all the way upline. If they don't get it, instead of having this handler fill, we're going to have the reset actually come from the stack in towards the middle of the field. Again, if you want to see that more in depth, go over to the host stack cutting video. I know Steve has also said that if we're in a bleak situation with the stall count, and we're having trouble getting open on both our cuts and our reset, we would much rather, Steve's philosophy is rather than to force it into the dump, force it into a reset, we'd rather force it downfield. We definitely don't want to be put in a position where we've turned it over in our own backfield. We absolutely want to avoid that at all costs. So if you get stuck, you don't feel comfortable with your reset, boost it to an area that you think that we have the best chance of making a play. So that's the basics on our handler resets, our resetting of the disc. There's obviously a lot of handler movement we can have off of that, and it's going to be entirely situational. I'm not going to go over everything now, but you certainly can in practice. We certainly will in games. I'll approach you, and Steve will approach you individually about an opportunity, whether missed or a one that you took advantage of as they arise. If you have any questions, of course, ask Steve, ask myself, talk to your other teammates, start to get to know the way that they play.